Hello and welcome to the April broadcast from Cowley College Media.
Welcome. Out late studying at the library or with a friend? Need to call security to walk you to your dorm? There's an app for that. Download the LiveSave app for help at your fingertips.
For more opportunities for students to stay in the know, check out our Appy Hour with Brady Holmes.
Hello, I'm Brady Holmes, and welcome to Appy Hour, where we take a look at some apps that can make your life easier. Google Drive is an easy way to connect your laptop to your phone. Left your paper at home? Not with Google Drive, where you can safely keep your documents on your phone. If you've ever struggled with scheduling, Mindful is the app for you. Easily create to-do lists and reminders for yourself. If you have a little downtime, download Blackbox. Blackbox is a puzzle game that pushes your phone and mind to the max. That's all we have for you today. Happy apping!
Carson, the college is in the process of building a new campus app to allow students to check their schedules, plan events, and connect with advisors all through their smartphones.
I've heard about this, and I know that Abby Hollins, the Director of Marketing, would appreciate any input about what you would like to see in your college app.
Hollins hopes the implementation of a new app will give students an improved college experience. I love playing Blackbox. Such an alternative way to enjoy yourself.
Alternative?
What is crazy about that word?
Sorry, I was thinking of alternative facts. Tavin Wolford and I delved into the trending topic of fake news and alternative facts.
Did you know that Malcolm in the Middle is actually a sequel to Breaking Bad?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. So, at the end of Breaking Bad, Walter White actually fakes his death, and he goes under the witness protection program. So he has to completely revamp his life. He has to change locations, change his family, and start a new career, and of course change his name, which is where Malcolm in the Middle begins.
That doesn't sound right.
You can't disprove it.
Actually, I can. In neither show, Malcolm in the Middle or Breaking Bad, are the two characters connected in any way. Plus, Malcolm in the Middle is owned by Fox and Breaking Bad is owned by AMC, which kind of just further debunks your alternative fact.
Alternative fact, but man, I thought the Reddit post was true.
You see, that's the point. Olivia Nuzzi of New York Magazine quoted Kellyanne Conway as saying that alternative facts are additional facts with alternative information. Alternative facts lead to clickbait. Clickbait leads to dumbing down our society, which puts money in some undeserving pockets. Clickbait is an eye-catching link on a website which encourages people to read on. It is often paid for by the advertiser or generates income based on the number of clicks. World-renowned columnist TMZ World Star wrote an article on viralspeech.com with no publication date titled "Mexico agrees to pay for the wall only if U.S. returns Texas to Mexico." These types of stories only lead to not believing the national news media and calling everything we see fake news. For more information, I spoke to Meg Smith, the mass communications advisor here at Cowley, on why fake news is impacting our society.
I think we've always had fake news. The difference is now we have such good technology, we have so much access that now we can actually verify and we know that it's fake news pretty darn quick. Unfortunately, the side effect from that tends to be that now we don't trust any news. All news starts to become fake news.
The dangerous combination of clickbait and alternative facts ends up harming more than it does helping. On February 14th of this year, the Wall Street Journal said that they brought 9 clips of YouTube celebrity PewDiePie, also known as Felix Schellberg, to Disney, who owns a company called Maker Studios, which is a company that pays YouTubers like Schellberg to create content. Disney responded by cutting ties with PewDiePie because the 9 clips apparently presented anti-Semitic views and were too inappropriate for Disney to continue working with them. The Wall Street Journal continued to write a second article stating that it's doubtful that a marketer will want to work with him, PewDiePie, anytime soon. They also went on and talked about how YouTubers are never going to be held up to a professional standard, much like professional Hollywood actors. After these 2 initial articles, the Wall Street Journal proceeded to make a video exploiting every anti-Semitic joke PewDiePie has made, using it as evidence to say that he is in fact a neo-Nazi and a symbol of hate. The fake news portion is right here. So in that video clip, they used this image as evidence to convey that PewDiePie is a neo-Nazi. The problem is this image is taken from a video called "Stop Doing This." In the video, Felix talks about how he doesn't want people making swastikas in his game. The Wall Street Journal took clips out of context to make him look like a neo-Nazi, when in reality, that's not what happened at all. However, the impacts were more devastating than you would think. PewDiePie not only had his ties cut with Disney, but he also had his YouTube Red series, Scare PewDiePie, a show that hundreds of people worked on, canceled. As you can see, the Wall Street Journal was just looking for a few extra clicks, but they were willing to go as far as to put someone else's career at risk just to do so.
So, what's a good way of making sure you get your news from a reputable source?
So, in this instance, PewDiePie actually made a very long response to everything that had been happening. So, if you ever see negative coverage on a celebrity, check out their social media, because they might provide more clarification on what actually happened.
You can also look at local sources compared to corporate sources. I saw an article about a Kansas City shooting that took place in February. I wanted to cross-examine this article with other articles about this same shooting that were on Fox, CNN, KMBC, and a fake news site called the Hindustan Times. The summary of the situation from KMBC, or the local source: Adam Purinton, 51, is accused of opening fire and fatally shooting Srinivas Kuchibolta and two other men at Austin's Bar and Grill at 7:15 p.m. in the 2100 block of East 151st Street. The restaurant was full of customers at the time of the shooting. Purinton was charged with 1 count of premeditated murder and 2 counts of attempted premeditated murder. At the moment, they aren't sure if this is a hate crime or not.
Out of the 4 reportings we looked at, KMBC was by far the most accurate by giving specific addresses and specific times of when this incident actually occurred. Whenever we broadened the searches and looked at CNN and Fox, they just kind of regurgitated what KMBC said while leaving out some details. The fake news comes in with the Hindustan Times. Interestingly enough, it just starts at their headline. Hate crimes in the US are rising since Trump assumed office. Hate crimes in the US are rising. Now, Tavin just said that the KMBC article reported that the FBI agent, Eric Jackson, was unable to conclude whether or not it was a hate crime or not. But the Hindustan Times just leaves that part out. The second part, since Trump assumed office. Now, the KMBC article says nothing about Donald Trump or him having anything to do with this shooting, not to mention that CNN and Fox, 2 news outlets that love to use Trump's name, say nothing about Trump in this article either. So we can see that the Hindustan Times was using this shooting for fake evidence to support the anti-Trump movement.
In most cases, the farther away a news source is from the scene, the less honesty that source can hold.
Unfortunately, we can't get rid of fake news, but we can reduce the consumption and the spread of false information by following a few of these steps. For starters, be sure to look out for clickbaity titles. Remember that these articles are more interested in your money than they are in telling a compelling story. Next, if you read an article about a situation that happened, be sure to read other news outlets' perspectives as well. And if there's a news article written about a specific celebrity, be sure to look at their personal social media to see how they reacted to the situation. That way, they can provide more clarification on what happened.
And last but not least, go local. Local reporters don't get paid to have clickbaity titles or for ads. They're paid to do good reporting, give a quality story, and not worry about the quantity of the clicks.
So does this mean that Walter White and Hal Wickerson aren't the same person?
That's right.
Man. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Carson Turner.
And I'm Tavin Wolford. Back to you guys.
Facebook has developed an informative post about how to discern the real from the fake.
Right, and we all know that we need to take it seriously once Facebook gets involved.
Hey, I get my best memes from Facebook.
Perfectly timed, Brady. Tavin and I looked into the lifespan of memes.
Memes aren't just something that your grandma should share on Facebook via a gardening page.
Wait, what?
We are the future that can save memes.
Now I know.
Meme responsibly, my friends.
That was interesting. So, have you ever heard about rumors?
I learned the hard way about the dangers of spreading those.
No, just no. The new play is called Rumors, and it's opening this week. Check out the trailer.
What I heard was that Myra was having a thing.
What kind of thing?
A man, a guy, a fella, a kid. Who knows?
Oh God. Oh man, my back.
Charlie's been shot.
What?
Shot?
Oh my God!
No!
I have known about you and Carol Newman for a year now.
Nothing is happening. What are you talking about?
Oh, excuse me. I'm going to get Charlie's gun.
Hello?
No, I don't know where he's at.
Please. Hello?
Our newscast seems to be following a theme of rumors and fake news.
Josh Wolf looked into the trend by asking people on campus about manners and how we use or don't use them today.
A lot of the time in this generation we hear that chivalry is dead. We hear this on Twitter and on Facebook, and we've even gone so far to say that there are no good people left on this earth. And a lot of these assumptions can be crazy and outstretched, but what if they have a point? What if the people of Twitter and Facebook have a reason to why they're saying these things? Has chivalry gone down? Has it decreased in the last 50 years? Well, Sydney Hufford and I interviewed 2 generations to see if there has been a change in chivalry or manners in general.
My definition of manners is how a person acts either in a professional or casual setting.
My definition of manners would be good behavior and the way we've been taught bringing up to conduct ourselves.
When, for instance, my mom was in college, I don't think that they were as maybe disrespectful as we are now. I know that for her, going to class was a huge thing. Like if she missed class, it was a huge deal. And now, say if we miss class, like if we skip class, and it's not as big of a deal to us as it would have been to her or to that generation.
I do think manners have declined over the years, such as opening the doors, opening car doors, saying thank you, please. It seems like that has diminished some in the past years.
I would say an example of bad manners would be someone not holding the door open for someone or talking back to a teacher.
Rudeness, not saying thank you when somebody does something very nice for you and not saying thank you.
Here are some tips and tricks to bringing back manners to our generation. Ladies and gentlemen, open your car door for your significant other. Make sure that you pull out their chair for them at a nice restaurant. And even open the door and take off your hat, gentlemen, whenever you walk inside of a building.
I feel like all this talk of bad stuff like rumors and fake news is kind of stressing me out. If only there was a reporter to give us a story about de-stressing, then I would feel a lot better.
So it turns out we already do a few things to help us de-stress, like binge watching. Bryson Turner is here to tell us about what our classmates are watching.
Our generation is one of the first generations to enter adulthood with the ability of watching an abundance of shows in one sitting. We no longer have to wait until next week to watch the next show, but rather we can watch an entire season in one day. But that's not always a good thing for full-time college students. Amelia Doyle and myself were able to sit down with a few other students and ask them their thoughts on binge watching.
Danielle, Bates Motel. It's thriller, it's horror, it's murder, and it's funny. Too many. A full day. It's like a marathon that never ends. You don't have to move. You can watch your favorite episode, tune out the world, and enjoy your favorite show. Favorite characters, favorite murder scenes, over and over and over again. You get lazy, you lose track of time, you hardly eat. You don't get to do the quality stuff that you probably should be doing, like homework, assignments, spending time with friends, unless they're joining you. I still do my assignments. I do my assignments before I binge watch.
My name is Harvey Baker. I would say I spend approximately 3 hours a day watching programs. I have a select few shows that I like to go between, mainly animated series like American Dad or Family Guy. I mostly enjoy watching the shows at night when I'm about to go to bed because there's too much to do during the day. a week or two. A procrastinator. It's a sort of escapism. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that big calc test when I'm really immersed in a show in another universe.
There are many places you can binge watch, most popular being Netflix and Hulu.
One way to get rid of some of that extra weight is to cut it off, and there is no better place than cosmetology. See what I did there?
Yes, and you're right, but so wrong. Amelia Doyle headed over to Ireland Hall to find out more about the personal services and the inexpensive prices available for students.
We do facials, and manicures, pedicures, eyebrow waxings,
Hair color. We're full service.
color, perm, everything.
We have to do perms, roller sets, hair color, waxing, pedicures, manicures,
styles, comb outs, sculpted nails.
If you're looking for a new style, come on down to Cowley Cosmetology Center located in Ireland Hall. And if you're a Cowley student, you get 15% off.
Before we sign off, I'd like to remind our audience about graduation next month.
Sophomores, remember to invite your friends and family to the commencement exercises on May 13th at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. in the W.S. Scott Auditorium.
Until next time,
I'm Carson Turner.
and I'm Brady Holmes.
And that's the note for now.